Let's take a journey into the dark and divine. Encounter demons of every shape and size, from the classic horrors of folklore to modern fiction's original, terrifying creations. Witness the monsters born of cultural mythology, from the ghastly ghouls of Eastern tradition to the bloodthirsty babes of Western legend. The beauties and horrors of legends, those that live within us. Welcome to Myth and Lores, a journey into the dark and divine. Without further ado, let's jump into another lore. Werewolves, or lycanthropes, are deeply embedded in folklore and myth, with their symbolism evolving over centuries. The transformation from human to wolf, or wolf-like creature, often reflects a complex mix of cultural fears, spiritual beliefs, and human psychology. Here's an exploration of the lore and symbolism of werewolves. The myth of the werewolf is ancient and can be found in many cultures worldwide, though the specific details differ depending upon the region. The word werewolf comes from the Old English werewolf, which combines were, which means man, and wolf, wolf. This transformation was often depicted as a curse, a supernatural affliction, or magical ability. One of the earliest known werewolf myths comes from Greek mythology, with the tale of the king Lycaon. After serving the god Zeus a meal of human flesh, Lycaon was transformed into a wolf as punishment. This story links the werewolf to the theme of hubris, punishment, and the breaking of divine laws. Werewolves were often seen as humans, cursed or bewitched in medieval Europe. These stories were tied to superstitions about witchcraft and the fear of the unknown. During the witch trials of the 16th and 17th centuries, accusations of lycanthropy were sometimes made alongside witchcraft accusations. People believed that those who could transform into wolves were in the league with the devil, participating in evil rites and causing harm to society. In Norse mythology, there are references to shape-shifting warriors, such as the berserkers, who were said to wear wolf pelts and take on the characteristics of wolves in battle. These warriors were both feared and revered for their savagery and strength. In many Slavic cultures, werewolves were considered to be people who could transform into wolves, often after a ritual or under a full moon. These transformations could be voluntary or involuntary, and werewolves were often associated with evil spirits, curses, and dark magic. The symbolism of werewolves is rich and varied. At its core, the werewolf represents the tension between the civilized and the wild, the human and the animal. Here are some key symbolic themes. The duality of human nature. Werewolves symbolize the dual nature of humanity, the constant struggle between civilized behavior and primal instincts. The transformation into a wolf reflects the loss of control, where the animalistic side consumes the human aspect. This could be seen as a metaphor for the darker, unconscious parts of the psyche, or the danger of giving in to basic instincts. The beast within. Linked to the duality theme, the werewolf also symbolizes the beast within all of us. The transformation is often depicted as involuntary, representing how certain aspects of the human experience, rage, desire, or violence, can erupt when least expected, often as a result of external triggers like the full moon. This taps into deep-seated fears of losing control over one's emotions or desires. Curses and transformation. The idea of a human being cursed to become a werewolf is another powerful symbol. It It speaks to the human fear of change, loss of agency, and being trapped in perpetual suffering. In many cultures, becoming a werewolf was linked to wrongdoing or a curse, symbolizing punishment for sins or transgressions. Freedom versus conformity. On a more positive note, the werewolf can represent freedom. The wolf is a powerful and independent creature, and in some modern depictions, werewolves are seen as rebels or outcasts who reject society's norms. This theme often appears in contemporary werewolf fiction, where the character struggles with their identity and may ultimately find a sense of liberation in embracing their wild nature. Nature and the wild. The werewolf can also symbolize the natural world and its untamed forces. Wolves are creatures that, in many cultures, are associated with wilderness, instinct, and survival. As a hybrid, the werewolf embodies a clash between the human and domestic world and nature's wild and often untamable forces. In some ways, the werewolf is a metaphor for humanity's relationship with the natural world and the fear of losing control over it. Fear of the other. Historically, werewolves are often depicted as threatening the community or society. The figure of the werewolf, a creature who exists between two worlds, human and animal, can be seen as a symbol of the other, someone or something that doesn't fit neatly into societal norms. In this way, werewolves have often been used in folklore to reflect societal fears of outsiders, minorities, or anyone who might disrupt the established order. The modern werewolf. The werewolf has undergone various transformations in contemporary popular culture, often reflecting modern concerns and issues. The werewolf myth is commonly associated with horror, but has also been adapted into genres like fantasy, romance, and science fiction. In modern interpretations, especially in literature and film, the werewolf often grapples with their transformation, which is no longer just about physical change, but emotional turmoil. The transformation is depicted as an allegory for inner struggles, addiction, mental illness, or the transition into adulthood. Unlike earlier depictions where werewolves were feared and cursed, modern portrayals often present werewolves as misunderstood or even heroic figures. This reflects a trend in contemporary media where marginalized or outside characters, whether supernatural or not, become symbols of empowerment. The werewolf may represent rebellion against oppressive forces, embracing one's true identity and rejecting societal constraints. In some cases, the werewolf has become a symbol of the need to reconnect with nature or live more in harmony with the environment. The wolf, as a creature of the wild, represents a primal, untamed force often at odds with the modern, industrialized world. In this sense, the werewolf may represent the consequences of humanity's disconnection from nature. Notable werewolf symbols and archetypes. One of the most iconic symbols associated with werewolves is the full moon, which often triggers the transformation. The full moon symbolizes mystery, power, and cyclical change, reinforcing the idea of transformation and the unpredictable forces that govern the werewolf's existence. The wolf. The wolf symbolizes loyalty, intelligence, and survival in the wild. It is often associated with family bonds, as wolves live and hunt in packs. As a symbol, the wolf is feared and respected for its strength and independence. Silver. In many myths, silver is the only material capable of killing a werewolf. This is often interpreted symbolically as the contrast between purity and corruption, or as a force that can overcome human nature's untamed wild side. The werewolf myth is rich in symbolism and continues to evolve in contemporary culture. It resonates with themes of transformation, duality, the struggle between civilization and the wild, in the darker aspects of human nature. Whether as a curse, a symbol of rebellion, or a manifestation of inner turmoil, the werewolf remains one of the most compelling figures in folklore and modern mythology. That concludes this lore. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next lore. Bye.